everyone, welcome to the hashtag You Can Knit Too, and in today's episode we are going to make these little panties for our 18-inch doll. I will show you how to, it's all done in one piece. I will teach you how to cast on, knit one, purl one, the rib stockinette. I will also show you how to decrease and then increase, and then we will put the panties together. And little Ava is wearing her new panties, and as you can see she's wearing her vest that we made last month. So what you're going to need, you are going to need a 3.5 and a 3.5mm and a 4mm bamboo needles, or metal needles if you prefer to work with them, or circular needles if you prefer to work with them. You're going to need some white DK 3-weight yarn in white, and then I, as an accent round the legs, I used some of my scrap pink yarn. You're also going to need a 3.5mm hook for the little edging. Can you see the edging for the legs? So you're going to need one of them. You're also going to need a pair of scissors. You're going to need some tapestry needles, and you're also going to need some elastic to put around the waistband so her panties don't fall off, guys. So what we're going to do now is we're going to turn you to overhead, and we're going to get started and make Ava a pair of panties to match her new vest. I'll see you all again in a bit. Okay, so we're going to be making the doll's panties today to go with the vest that we did last month. And I'm using the Deramores Essentials DK, which is 100% acrylic, and it's got 322 yards, and it's going to be done in all one piece, and we're going to use a crochet hook, a 3.5mm crochet hook. You're going to need, which I haven't got at the moment. Oh, hold on, have I got a 3? No, I've got a 3mm hook to do the leg borders. So first off, we're going to use the smallest of the needles, which is a 3.5mm, 3.5mm needles. Is that 3.5? No, that's a 4. That's a 4. There we go. So I've got a pair of 3.5mm, 3.5mm knitting needles, and in bamboo, and we are going to cast on 33 we're going to cast on, guys. So you need to cast on, and as always you start with a slip knot. I always like to leave a little tail, and then we're going to cast on. So let me just move the camera over a bit. There we go, so you can actually see what I'm doing. So we've got number 1, we've got 1 stitch. So now we're going to cast on 33. So yarn, put your needle between the two through the stitch already on your left hand needle, so it forms a cross. You're putting your yarn round your needle, you pull the needle back and through, swing your right hand needle to the right, bring your left hand needle in between and create a stitch. So you've got 2 stitches. Now for the next stitch, you put your needle between the two stitches. Again, you're forming a cross, yarn round needle, you pull your needle back with the yarn on it, swing, pick the stitch up, you've got 3. So in, round, through, swing onto your left hand needle. Between the 2 stitches, sorry guys, between the 2 stitches, yarn round needle, pull through, swing, bring your right hand needle between the yarn to create a stitch, and you've got 5, and that's all you're going to do guys. In, round, through, swing, pick up a stitch, in, round, through, swing to the right, pick up a stitch, in, round, through, pick up a stitch, and just continue doing that guys until you've got 33 stitches. It's really very easy to do, just take your time. I'll just go through it again. In, round, through, swing, left hand needle through the yarn to create a stitch and put it onto your left hand needle. So in effect you're creating a stitch by putting your left hand needle through the yarn on the right and bringing it back to the left, and that's how you create your stitch. So my yarn is tangled and it's on the right side, and I always find guys, always have your yarn on the right of you, because it's so much easier, it's not coming across you. So if it's on the right, you're going to be able to do that. Obviously if you're left-handed and you do it the other way, then you know, have your yarn on the left. But for me, I knit right-handed, so I always like my yarn on my right side. So all you're doing is just picking up the stitches, in, round, through and off, in, round, through and off, and I'll be back when we have got 33 stitches on our left hand needle. Okay, so we've got 33 stitches, and what we're going to do now is we are going to do 4 rows of knit 1, purl 1. So you knit, yarn forward, purl, yarn to the back. I'll just move this camera over a bit. There we go. Sorry about that. Knit, yarn to the front, purl, yarn to the back, knit, yarn to the front, purl, yarn to the back, knit, yarn to the front and purl, and you do that until you get to the end, and your last stitch is going to be a knit stitch. So I'll see you at the end and I'll show you what to do on row 2. Okay, we've come to the end of row 1. So on the row 2, and you always know row 2 is where your tail is, and that's where you start row 2. So because we finished on a knit row, a knit stitch, we're going to start the second row on a purl stitch. So we're going to do purl, knit, purl, knit. So what you're doing is, if you can see, where you purled on the previous row, you're going to knit the stitch. Where you knitted on the previous row, you're going to purl the stitch. So you create a nice rib effect. That's what you're going to do. So yarn forward, purl, yarn to the back, knit, yarn to the front, purl, yarn to the back, knit. And you're going to continue that, and on the second, on the even rows, you're always going to start with a purl stitch and you're going to end with a purl stitch. On the odd numbers, you're going to start with a knit stitch and you're going to end with a knit stitch. So go away and finish this row, which is number 2, and you need to do another 2 more rows, and I'll meet you back here and we'll start on working the body of the panties. See you shortly, guys. Okay, so this is the rib, all done. All 4 rows are done now, and then we're going to move to 4mm needles. There we go. I'm not sure if you can see it. 4mm. So what we're going to do now is we're going to do stocking stitch or stockinette, and we're just going to knit every row, every stitch. You're going to knit 1 row and purl 1 row, which forms the stocking stitch, and you all know how to do the knit stitch, I hope. So it's just in, round, through and off, in, round, through and off, in, round, through and off, and you're just going to continue doing that on the first row. So all your odd rows, and you know you're on an odd row because there's no tail here. On the even row, when you start your even row, you've got the little tail here, and that's how you know. Particular for this pattern, this doll's panties. And I'm going to be teaching you how to cast off. I'm also going to be teaching you how to decrease and that. So and also how to increase as well. So we've done this, so we're nearly at the end of this. So what effect you're going to do, you're going to kind of knit, and then you're going to decrease, and then you're going to form the gusset, and then you're going to increase out to where you've started. So you're going to go up, in, down, out and up again to form a pair of panties for your doll. And this is for an 18-inch doll, guys. So that's the knit row. So this is the 3.5mm, and I'm going to pick up my 4mm, and we're going to do a purl. So, and as you know, with a purl stitch, some people find it harder to do the purl stitch, some people find it easier. It all depends, but just practice, guys. It's just really practice, practicing your stitches. And in the description box below, I'll have all the tutorial links for knit, purl, ribbing, and that. So we'll do that. So let's see. So we're on purl now. So obviously your needle always goes into the front of the stitch, and it's yarn round into the front of the stitch. So you're kind of kissing the left hand needle with the right hand needle to pick up the stitch, and that's all you do. And I want you to do 10 rows, guys. Okay, so you're going to do 10 rows of knit a row, purl a row to create a stocking stitch. And as you can tell you're on a purl row because all the nubs are on the back, whereas on a knit row it's nice and smooth, and you've got that lovely stockinette stitch. So I'm going to leave you to continue finishing your purl row. You need to then do another 8 more rows. You knit 1 row, you purl 1 row, and when you've got 10 rows on your needle, then I will show you how to decrease, cast off, and then we'll go into decreasing of the panties. Okay, so we've got our 10 rows, and the way you can count your 10 rows, you see all the nubs there, and all you do is just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we've got 10 rows, 4 rows of rib, 10 rows of stocking stitch. Now we're going to start decreasing. So the first 4 rows we're going to decrease 3 stitches at either end. So what you do is you knit 1, knit 2, you take your left hand needle and you put it through the first stitch that you've knit, and you carry it over that stitch, so you've got 1 stitch left on your needle. You knit another one, you put your left hand needle through the stitch that was left, you carry it over the stitch that you've just knit, that's 2, and then you're going to do exactly the same, knit that stitch, put your left hand needle through the stitch on the right hand needle, the first one, so you've got 1 here, you carry that over and you've taken 3 stitches off. Now what you're going to do, you're going to knit to the end, knit all the way to the end, and then we're going to purl. On the purl row we're going to decrease another 3 stitches. So I'll just knit this to the end very quickly, and I hope you're enjoying my knitting tutorial series. So, and what I'm teaching you guys, you can it's applicable to all knitting projects, whether you're knitting a hat, knitting a scarf, no, not necessarily knitting, well, yeah, knitting a scarf. I mean, you don't have to necessarily decrease. So we've got that. Okay, so next what we're going to do is we're going to purl, but we're going to decrease on the purl ways. So we're going to purl 2 stitches. So we've got 2 stitches on our right hand needle. In the first stitch that you knitted, you're going to carry it over the second stitch, and you've got 1 left. Bring your yarn forward, purl another stitch, move your yarn to the back of your stitch. You've got 2 there. In the first stitch here, you're going to put your left hand needle through, and you're going to carry it over the first stitch, and you've still got 1. So that's 2 we've decreased. Bring your yarn forward, purl that stitch, put your yarn to the back, and purl, carry it over the first stitch. So you've got 3. So we've decreased 3 stitches either end. Now I need you to finish purling this row, and I need you to go and decrease another 3 stitches on your knit row and another 3 stitches on your purl row, and then I'll meet you back here and we'll go through decreasing to shape. So that what in effect we're doing is we're decreasing so it'll go round the leg of the doll, and I'll see you back here to start decreasing. Okay, so we've decreased 3 stitches, 6 stitches that side. We've decreased 6 stitches that, well, we've cast off, to be honest, and we should have 21 stitches on our needle. Now what we're going to do, we're going to decrease at each end. So we're going to decrease here and here on the next 7 rows. Okay, so let me just show you what I mean. So what you're going to do is you're going to knit 2 together. So you're going to put your needle between these 2 stitches, In fact, what you're going to do is you're going to slip this stitch on, you're going to slip this stitch on, you're going to then put your needle through both stitches and cast off, and you've got one stitch. So you're going to knit to the end. I'll go through this with you a few times, so bear with me. Yeah, so you're just going to knit to the end, to the last 2 stitches. So you need always on your decrease rows, when you knit to the end or you purl to the end, there has got to be 2 stitches. So you've got 2 stitches. This time you're going to put your needle through both stitches. You're going to put your yarn round needle and you're going to pull off, and you've got 1 stitch left. Now we're going to do it again, but we're going to do it purl ways. So this time we're going to put our needle through 1 stitch, going to put our needle through 2 stitches, so we've got 2 stitches. You're going to put your yarn round needle and you're going to purl them 2 stitches off, and you've got 1 stitch here. And then you're going to purl to the end, just purling all the way across. So this is row 2. You might want to get a piece of paper and just put little marks on, and then after you've done each row, say we've got to cast off for 7 rows, put 7 little marks on a piece of paper, and after you've done each row you can cross it off. So now we're going to do exactly the same. We're going to slip that 1 stitch on, slip that stitch on, you're going to bring that through and you're going to purl them off like that. Okay, so I'll go through this again with you. So that's row 2. So now we're going to go slip, slip your stitches, 2 stitches on from your left to your right. You're going to bring your needle through the front of the stitches, your yarn round needle, and knit them 2 stitches off, and then you're going to go to the end, knit right to the end, and as you can see we're shaping the leg. Can you see how we're shaping it? So we're going to knit this to the end, to the last 2 stitches, and you're going to put your, can you see what I'm doing? I'm putting my right hand needle through the center of the 2 stitches on my left hand needle, yarn round needle, pull through, and I've come with 1 stitch. Now we're going to put, because it's a purl row, we're going to put our right hand needle through the first stitch, we're going to put it through the second stitch, we're going to yarn round needle, pull through, and you come with 1, and you're going to purl to the end. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We've got 2 stitches, and we're going to slip, slip, and we're going to put the needle through, and we're going to purl them. So that's row 4. So I'm going to leave you. I'm going to decrease mine, and I'll be back when I decreased. So I've got another 3 more rows to go, guys. Okay, another 3 more rows of decreasing at the front, at the start and at the end of each row for 3 rows. So when you come back, you should be ready to do a purl row. So I'll see you then. Okay, so we should have 7 stitches on our needle, and we finished on the knit row. And as you can see, we're shaping for the legs of the panties. So now we're going to just purl this. Whoops. We're just going to purl this row. Okay guys, we're just going to purl it. No decreasing on this row. There we go. But on this row we are actually going to decrease, so we end up with 5 stitches. So as before, slip, slip, needle between the 2 stitches, take that off, and then we're going to knit 1, 2, 3, 2 stitches, and you're going to put your needle between the 2 stitches left on your left hand needle and knit them. And now we've got 5 stitches, so I need you to go away now and knit 7 rows. So you've got to knit 7 rows, and you're going to end on a purl row, because the first row you're going to do is a purl. So, and when you come back, when you've done your 7 rows, we will then start to increase and get, so we're going to replicate this up this, so we're going to go out, going to increase, so we've got the same amount of stitches as we have here, and then it's plain sailing then guys. So don't forget 7 rows, and the first row is a purl row, and you're going to end on a purl row, and then we'll start increasing. I'll be back soon. Okay guys, we've got the 7 rows, and we finished on a purl row, and now what we're going to do is we're going to start and increase we're going to increase 1 stitch on each row for the next 14 rows. Okay, so we by increasing for the next 14 rows, we're going to get back to 33 stitches, because that's what we started with. So we've got 33 here, then we decreased here to get number to 5. So now we're going to increase. So let's make a start, and I'll show you how to increase. Now for increasing, you knit the first row, first stitch, and if you pull your yarn, pull it, you can see this stitch here. What you're going to do is going to pick it up and put it on your right hand needle, and you're going to put your left hand needle through it, and you're going to knit that stitch. Then you're going to knit until there's 1 stitch on your left hand needle, and you see this here, this little piece here, you're going to pick that up, and you're going to pick it up with your left hand needle, put it on your right hand needle, you're going to put your left hand needle through the stitch, and you're going to knit it, and then you're going to knit that stitch there. Okay, so we've increased to 7. Now on the purl stitch it's exactly the same, the purl row I should say. You're going to purl this stitch, and you're going to see, pick up this stitch. Can you see this stitch here? Let me just show you. I'll just show you here. Can you see this piece of yarn here that lies between these 2 stitches? You're going to pick this stitch up. So you're going to pick it up. You're going to pick it up with your left hand needle. You're going to put it onto your right hand needle. No, you're not. You're going to leave it on your left hand needle, sorry, and then you're going to purl that stitch. you've created another stitch. Then you're just going to purl to the end, always keeping your yarn in the front, and then you're going to, it might be best, guys, if you use a crochet hook to find the piece of yarn. So there it is there. You're going to pick it up with your left hand needle, you're going to put it, your right hand needle through it, and you're going to purl it, and you're going to purl. And there we've increased now to 9 stitches. I'll show you one more how to do it. So you always knit your first stitch, find the piece of yarn that lies between the 2 stitches, which is here, pick it up with your left hand needle, put it onto your right hand needle, and then knit it. Okay, knit to the end. I'll show you what to do. So it's always the stitch before, and then what you're going to do is you're going to find the yarn that's between the 2 of them, which is this one here. Hold on, I can do it better with my, find it here like that, and then you're going to knit that stitch. So can you see how it's increasing? Can you see how it's increasing? I'll show you once again how to pick up the stitch, the yarn, and this is what they call excuse me. So this is what they call, what's later, well, the abbreviation is M1, which is make one. So you can see the yarn lying between. So let me get my hook, and I'm going to put it onto my right hand needle, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my left hand needle through it, and I'm going to purl it, and then I'm going to purl to the end. Just purl and all the way to the end. And this is what you're going to do, and you need, so on the knit row you're going to pick up a stitch this end and this end. So right, so oh, drop my needle. The needles are too big, guys. Needles are too long. I would like to use circular needles, but I think for my teaching, I think straight needles are what I recommend for new. So you're going to pick up this, you're going to put it onto your right hand needle, you're going to get your left hand needle, and you're going to purl that stitch, and you're going to purl that stitch. And that, guys, is how you make one or increase one. So you should have, by now, you should have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13. So I need you to go away and continue until you have 33 stitches on your needle. So you can keep rewinding and referring and watching how I increase, and I'll see you back here when I've got 33 stitches on. Okay, so as you can see, I've got the 33 stitches. Now this is not as smooth as this, as you can see, because these are the front of the panties, and this is the back, and it's kind of got like a little pooch. Can you see it's kind of ridged? And that is for the little body of the doll. That's for the little body, the bottom of the doll, you know, with the back side. So it'll sit up like that. So can you see? Can you see now the panties? So this seems a bit fuller and not quite as smooth, and this is because it's going to sit over the shape of the bottom of the doll. You know, the little booty, it's booty. So now what you need to do, I need you to go away now, and I need you to do 10 rows of knit one row, purl one row, stocking stitch, stockinette, and then I need you to then go away. So you need to do 10 rows of knit a row, purl a row. Then when you've done your 10 rows of knit a row, purl a row, always ending on a purl row, you then need to do your knit one, purl one rib for 4 rows, and then I will meet you guys at the end then. So, and we'll have done the booty, the panties, and I will show you then how to do a nice little do the leg borders for the panties, and I'm going to use a crochet hook for that, and I'm going to use some pink yarn just to make them a little bit fancy, guys. So one more time, I need you to go away now and knit one row, purl one row for 10 rows, ending on a purl row. You then need to do 4 knit one stitch, knit one, purl one ribbing, and then I will come back and I'll show you how to cast off. Good luck, guys. There we go, all done. So this side looks a bit bigger than this side, but don't forget, guys, this side is going over the bottom, the doll's booty, so it's more curved, and this is flatter. And if I join them together, you can see we have a pair of panties. So the next thing we've got to do is we've got to cast off all these stitches, all 33 of them. So I'm just going to quickly show you what to do. So you're going to knit the first 2 stitches. You're going to take the first stitch and you're going to carry it over the first stitch, so you've got 1 stitch. You're going to knit, carry the stitch that was left on the needle and take it over. You're going to knit, you're going to carry this stitch over. You're going to knit, you're going to carry this stitch that was remaining on the needle over. And that is how you cast off, guys. So I need you to cast off all the stitches, and I'll meet you at the end and show you what to do to the last stitch. We've got 1 stitch on the right hand needle, we've got 1 stitch on the left. We're going to knit this stitch, we're going to take this stitch over, so we've got 1 stitch. What you're going to do is you're going to bring it out a little bit. I'm going to get a pair of scissors, and I like to leave a long tail because it helps with sewing, and you're going to bring it through and pull it off. And there, guys, is your dolly's panties. So all I need to do now is we need to get, well, you can either use the same colour yarn, white yarn, or you can get some pink, which is what I'm going to do. And what we're going to do is we're going to do crochet, pick up all the stitches all the way round to here. I'm going to pick up, and then we're going to do a single crochet around on both sides, and then we're going to sew it together. And then we need a little bit of elastic to go round, and you'll put your elastic in the ribbon, and I'll show you how to do that. So I'll be back in a bit when I've got some yarn. I'll go and find some pink yarn, and I've got my tapestry needles, and I've got my scissors, and I've got my 3 millimeter hook, which in fact I'm going to change, guys, because I'm going to use a 3.5 millimeter hook. So I need to find my 3.5 millimeter hook, and we will we'll get finish off these panties. So I'll be back in 2 minutes. Okay, we've got some pink yarn. Move all the needles out the way because I don't need them now. And so I've got some pink yarn. Let's see, there we go. Right, so I'm going to put my yarn through my and then I'm going to, I always like to leave a little tail just for sewing, making a slip knot, and then I bring that through. All we're going to do, guys, is we're just going to do slip stitches, she says. Just going to do single crochets, just single crochets. Can you see what I'm doing? There we go. Single crochet. I'll just bring this round a bit. There we go. Single crochet into all the stitches. All the way around. That's all you're going to do. So can you see it leaves a nice little edging? So that's all you're going to do on both sides. You're just going to do a single crochet all the way around to here. And then you're going to go back and do another single crochet, so you've got 2 single crochet rows, and then you're going to do exactly the same to the other side. And when you've done that, I'll show you what to do next. Okay, so just single crochet into every stitch round the leg. Don't be too tight, try and be quite loose with it. Okay guys, I'll see you at the other end when I've done both, crocheting about round both legs. Okay, so as you can see, we've got the lovely pink around the legs. So what we've got to do is we've got to sew both sides now, weave in all the ends, and then we're done. And then we need to thread some elastic, and you're going to thread the elastic through the rib. You can use shearing elastic. I haven't got shearing elastic at the moment. I've got this narrow elastic, and that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go away and put it all together, put the elastic through, and then I'll show you what they look like at the end. And as you see guys, the back, you always know this is the back of the panties that goes over the bump of the bottom, you know, your bum, and this is the front. But we'll sew it together, get it all sorted, and I hope you've enjoyed the tutorial. I've enjoyed making these little panties, and thank you so much for taking part, or you know, if you have any questions whatsoever, please don't hesitate to email me. My email is in the description box below, as well as the links to the basic stitches. So if you've never knitted before and this is your first time seeing this, all of my links for the knitting, back to basics, hashtag you can knit too, all of them are in the description box below. Thank you all so very much for being here today. Take care, stay safe, and more importantly guys, be kind to you. I'll see you all next time. Bye bye for now.